So, yes, what are we learning today? Learning how to come up with new content ideas and actually how to take action. So the first 15-20 minutes will be us just running through this training. Then we're going to spend 10 to 15 minutes just with any questions that you may have. And then what I'd like to do, if you're able to, is I'd like you to actually take that action with us. Now, we're only going to record the actual training part of this. So again, if you're not able to actually take action with us today, it's not a problem at all. More than happy to jump on a call with any of you to kind of run through some of the bits that we go through in a moment as well. But moving on, so let's look at some content ideas, and we're going to actually discuss what the benefit is of using these content ideas as well. So, first one, ask your audience a question. Now, dependent on what the industry is that you're in. I can use Judith obviously as an example, because I know we have Judith on the call. Judith runs Plimlets. So for example, what questions could Judith ask? She could ask a poll, for example. She could put a poll out on Facebook or on LinkedIn or wherever she likes and ask people, are they renting? Are they in a mortgage? She could also ask them, do they ever use Airbnb, or do they prefer booking.com? Asking a question to your audience to understand a little bit more about what their buying habits are, what their what services potentially you could cater or collate for them would obviously be a positive there. So asking your audience a question. Supporting a cause, a charity, or a CIC. So obviously, it's a two-way street. Number one, obviously, you can support a cause, so something that perhaps is close to your heart. It's a really, really good way of you pushing your business out and giving people a little bit of background on who you are, what you stand for, what your core values are. A charity that we support here at Kernow Media is Children's Hospice Southwest. We absolutely love them. Partially, I'm a father. I couldn't imagine to be in the position they're in, but we support those guys for that reason. And again, when we share these posts on Kernow Media, or I personally share them myself, just gives people a little bit of background into who I am. And the same goes obviously for whether it's a CIC or a charity as well. Sorry, a CIC or just perhaps a different cause as well. So yeah, create a short form video. So most people these days have a smartphone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android or a Google phone. These are really, really high quality cameras, and you can use that camera to create a short video. It doesn't have to necessarily be associated with what you do. It could just be, you're perhaps going to an event, you're going to an exhibition. So you could use that video. You could create a video of your journey to that venue, for example. It could be a day in the life of, where perhaps your first thing you're doing in the morning is you're sorting out your emails. Okay, so it could just be a little video of you sorting out your emails. Could then be you going for lunch. Could be you having a meeting with somebody. Could be you having a strategy session with somebody. Or perhaps working on your own marketing, or perhaps working on a project internally. Again, people liked, and this could be a behind the scenes type video, or again, it could be just a day in the life, or a journey to and from a meeting, perhaps. But again, short form video. So what we're talking about here is talking about Reels for Facebook and Instagram. We're talking about a YouTube short, obviously for YouTube, or it could be a TikTok. But short form video is one of the best ways to create engagement at the moment. They're really being pushed. The algorithm for these are really being pushed by all of the major social media channels at the moment. Or you could create a how-to post. So again, each of us are experts in our field. So you could create a how-to post on how to kind of undertake a service that you offer. Now, you could argue that what I'm doing here today, this is a how-to video. So how to create your own social media posts, how to schedule them out. It's exactly what we're doing here today. Obviously, it's a bit more of bit more of a long form video as opposed to a short form video, but you could create a post on how to, we're coming up for Christmas. So Helena Giles is a makeup artist, and she's also a member of the Kernow Club. And Helena could do a video on, because she does makeup, she's a makeup artist. She could do a video on mascara. I don't know. I don't know anything about makeup, of course, but she could do a post on how to apply some form of makeup and how to, get yourself ready in 5 minutes, how to do your makeup in 5 minutes, kind of, how to post on makeup artistry. Again, another idea. Or you could showcase a client or share a testimonial. So showcasing a client. So we're working, and Daz Stevens from Kinetic Energy again, and a client of ours. Fantastic client. He's just gone across and he's just come fifth, actually. Spoiler alert, he's come fifth in the St. Austell Seattle, the Seattle Battle, which is a bodybuilding, a big bodybuilding contest over in Seattle in the USA. And we're loving showcasing him. This is on our own social media as well. We absolutely love what Daz is doing. And he's really kind of doing what he says, do as I say, not as I do, so to speak. And he really takes care of himself, and he really has a passion for taking care of other people. So what we like to do is we like to showcase what we're doing for him in terms of social media content, but also showcasing what he does within his business as well. And he's actually doing that himself as well, of course. He's showcasing himself. So you can showcase a client, showcase what you've done for a client, or showcase what that client's doing. Or if you're not able to do that, you could share a testimonial, share a review. What we always recommend is asking people to leave you a review on Facebook or leave you a review on Google. If that's something you're not too sure about how to do or how to ask people to do that, please do get in touch. I can help you with that. But again, it just adds obviously a lot of credibility to you, to your business, to what you do. And it's that old saying, isn't it? Of say, don't worry about what people are saying when you're in the room. Worry about what they're saying when you're not in the room. And if somebody's sharing a testimonial for you on, say, Google or Trustpilot or wherever, that's effectively them speaking about you outside the room. But it's something you can share, and you can use that to hopefully attract more clients to you as well. So I appreciate there's 5 ideas. There's a million other content ideas that you could come up with. Here's 5 that I thought were just a little bit different to what a lot of people share, whether it's their services or their products or what they offer. But it's 5 things here that we like to share ourselves at Kernow Media. So, and why is this type of content valuable? So just to kind of break into it. So number 1, it's really, really good to get feedback from people. And it's really, really good to get to create content that can create feedback as well. So just going back there, asking your audience a question. So people are going to give you feedback if you're asking the right questions. Supporting a cause, charity, CIC. If people support that charity as well, they're going to want to come out. They're going to want to be vocal about it. Short form video, again, you're going to create a lot of views if you're doing it in the right way, if you're posting it at the right time. Creating a how-to post, again, hopefully people will share their experiences of how that's gone for them if they have followed the how-to post. And then showcasing a client or sharing a testimonial, again, hopefully the person or the client that you're going to be sharing or showcasing or sharing their testimonial from, hopefully they're going to get involved as well. So they're going to give you feedback, and that's going to create feedback on the post, which in turn is going to be classed as engagement. Now, engagement, a lot of people look at engagement as being a like, a share, a comment. Engagement doesn't always mean that. Engagement can be that person just lingering on your post, if you will, just looking at a post for more than 3 seconds. So if somebody looks at your post for more than 3 seconds, that's classed as an engagement. And if you look at the analytics on, say, Facebook or Meta, as it's now known, if we look at on Meta and we look at the analytics, sometimes it will say engagement, pick this out of the air, engagement 100, but you may only have 25 likes and 15 comments and 3 shares. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, wait there, that doesn't add to 100. The extra, the additional on top of that will actually be people that have perhaps clicked on the post itself, even if it doesn't have a link through to your website or a link through to another page, it will be people that have actually hovered over that page as well. So it's interesting, and it's worth just having a look at your analytics there. It'll also help you to build a community. So you really want to encourage people to be speaking together, to be having conversations on your posts. Again, this will help with the engagement on the post as well, on your page. And again, obviously, it will also tie into the feedback side of it as well. But building a community, and what I would argue is you want to obviously build a positive community. Nobody wants to go onto a page and see people arguing. So building a positive community is obviously a massive there. And it will also build trust as well, because again, you're going to be sharing stuff that isn't just salesy. The 5 content ideas I've given you there previously, hopefully they're going to show people a little bit about who it is that's behind the brand. Again, talking about content ideas, perhaps doing a meet the team type post, which is something that my team are working on at the moment for us for Kernow Media. But again, it's about building trust, and it comes back to the know, like, and trust aspects, that triangle of why people buy from you. So know, like, and trust. And again, all of this will help you with building trust. So coming down to actually creating that content as well. So there are different platforms that you can use to build this content. So the first one, and where I've actually created this today, is Canva. So I've created this presentation that you're looking at right now on Canva. Canva is very, very easy to use. There's a free version, there's a paid version, and it's very, very handy for creating that content, creating the visual content. So whether it's a graphic or a video. You've also got Adobe InDesign. It's a little bit more in depth. I think Canva is about £8.99. I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But it's about £8.99 per month. If you've got more than one person in your team that is going to be creating this content, you can get different accounts that you can tie in together. Adobe InDesign is about £16-17 per month. Again, it's a lot more in depth. It's a little bit more difficult. Tends to be graphic designers or people that are a bit more adept at graphic design that tend to use that. Lucy, our graphic designer here, she uses it, Adobe InDesign for logo design, that kind of thing. Another one here, I went for a bit of an obscure one. So before I started using Canva, I used to use something called PicMonkey, which is very, very similar to Canva in the sense that it's an online browser platform where you can create simple graphics, just put them together as well. And then you can use a graphic designer. Of course, we've got our own in-house graphic designer here. We do create projects for clients, whether it is logo design or social media graphics or whatever. But you can use a graphic designer to create that as well. Or you can use the Kernow Cloud. The Kernow Cloud is the software that our members are able to use. It does come with a free version of Canva attached to it. And again, it's handy to be able to create that visual graphic and actually have it somewhere where you can use you can use it to schedule stuff out as well. So there's 5 different ways you can create content. And again, you want something to be professional. Obviously, you want it really to be in your brand colors. But again, what I always say to people is consistency. You want it to have quality, but consistency is just as important as quality as well. So don't get too hung up on the visual content. Sometimes you can just use a picture, which will come from like a free library, and then you can just put your logo on it. Again, you as much as your skill and your budget will allow you, is as good as it needs to be, really, to begin with. Now, when you're creating the text content, so the caption that will go with the post, so if you're talking about, so we'll go back to the to the content ideas that we came up with. If you're creative, if you're showcasing your client, of course you can create the text to go with that. Doesn't need to be a huge amount. Obviously you have a limited number of characters. Instagram, you have more characters than Twitter, of course. Twitter, you only get 280 characters. Instagram, you get about 15, maybe 1,200 now. I think they may have reduced it. But you have quite a number of characters there. Again, you want to edit those characters to where to maximize the impact you have on that post, but also you want to be writing out, war and peace. It needs to be really something that gets to the point, and people read it. Don't put it all in one big block either. Make sure you space it out nicely, not too much. My friend Matt Carey, who's a financial advisor with St. James's, he's not a big fan of just one word on every line, and I totally get that. But you do want it to be readable. Don't want it to be all bunched up together, just a whole long paragraph. Really, you want it broken down into pieces so that people can read, take the highlights, if you will. Well, unfortunately, we live in a world where people do not have a huge amount of spatial. Trying to think of the right word. They don't really enjoy spending a lot of time reading this stuff. So it's worth just putting something down that is a little bit more a bit shorter. Keep to those attention spans that people have these days. You could use a copywriter. So there's some really great copywriters out there. There's quite a few actually in my phone book. One that springs to mind, Mary Wardell. Mary is a copywriter. And Mary, if you went to Mary and said, look, I've got these 15, 30 graphics, I really want some good copy to go with it, it would be worth having that conversation. If you perhaps you struggle with writing content. Again, obviously you need to make sure that person, that copywriter that you use, has got the right knowledge around what you do, how you do it. But yeah, copyright could be good. ChatGPT, so AI, which people either love or hate, but ChatGPT can help you with writing good content for your posts. What I would say is if you are going to use ChatGPT, you'll want to go in and change it, because it does very much look a bit like a robot's written it. And you don't want that, obviously, when you're putting posts out to your clients. You want to go in, you want to edit it, give it the human feel. But sometimes ChatGPT can be good just to kind of get the base layer down. And then again, the Kernow Cloud. So again, members of the Kernow Club, they get access to the Kernow Cloud, and within that, we do have AI software that's integrated into the software, where you can write out, what subject you want to the Kernow Cloud to talk about, and the Kernow Cloud will write it out for you. And again, I always recommend people just make a little edit there as well. But when you're creating the text content, again, it needs to be relevant. Really, you want to have either a call to action, or you don't particularly want to have every single post to be just that you're talking to the audience. You really want to be able to, you really want people to be able to reply to you, to be able to get people's opinions on stuff. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about a moment ago. We're getting about feedback, and then we get engagement. It's really worth putting some thought into the text that goes with your post. Scheduling the content. So again, there are different scheduling content out there. So Meta, which obviously owns Facebook and Instagram, they have their own scheduler. So you can actually go in, you can create a post, and then you can schedule it to go out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever, which is really, really handy. LinkedIn does the same. So you can actually go in, you can write a post, and you can schedule that post to go out at a certain time, day, whatever. Again, all is, both are really, really handy. Does mean obviously you have to take that content, copy and paste it into LinkedIn, make those edits that you need to make for LinkedIn, and go from there. Again, the Kernow Cloud is for members only, but Kernow Cloud gives you access to their software, and the software itself, you can create posts and you can edit them really, really easily to go out on all of the different platforms as well. And the times, the dates, of course, that you want. It also has it will give you the best times that it thinks that it should go out as well. based on your audience and what your audience have done historically with your posts at certain times of the day, certain days of the week, etc., as well. And then also you've got Buffer, Hootsuite. You've got a lot of other scheduling software out there as well. Now, again, I've used Hootsuite historically. The Kernow Cloud is basically agency. Just go back to the Kernow Cloud. It's agency-specific software, so it's designed for an agency, but it allows us to give anyone that signs up with us, it gives us the option to be able to give them their own login details where they can basically attach their own accounts. So that's the reason why we stopped using Hootsuite. Buffer. Also, Hootsuite did put the prices up at the time as well, which made us look around. But again, it's definitely worth looking at some scheduling software. It can be good, and again, it allows you to pull reports, etc. The Kernow Cloud allows you to pull reports. I don't know about Hootsuite. I believe they do as well. So, how can we improve this engagement? So, at this stage, we've come up with a content idea. We have created that graphic, the visual element to go with it. We've created the caption to go with it, and we've now scheduled it out. Now the post has been, if you can imagine, the post has now been scheduled out. What can we do to improve the engagement, to get more eyes on it? Well, firstly, we can reply to comments. So if somebody does write something on the post, be it positive or negative, hopefully not negative, but if we do have something that goes out on the post and somebody comments on that post, it's always worth replying, even if it's a thanks very much for your thoughts, or thanks very much for your reply. Again, what we really want to be doing is we want to be engaging that person in conversation, and ultimately we want to be trying to lead that person into our funnel, if you will, and turn it into a sale. So any way that we can take that conversation online to offline, i.e. on the phone or a face-to-face meeting, if it's that kind of post, that's what we want to be doing. But replying to comments is key, because again, it will build that engagement again, and it will help that post to reach more people. So replying to comments, reacting to each of the comments as well. Again, it sounds really a really small deal, but again, reacting to the comments is it will give you as much of a benefit as replying to each of the comments. If you react to each comment and you reply to each comment, then effectively you're doubling the amount of engagement that goes onto that post. Hopefully, the person who you're conversing with will reciprocate that as well, and you'll have a two-way conversation going here, both with the emojis and also with the comments as well. You can invite people to like your page. So if somebody if somebody hasn't yet liked your page, but they've commented on your post, you have an option when you go into Reacts or you go into the actual comments themselves. You actually have an option where you can invite that person to like your page. Again, I see a lot of people not utilizing this, but it's just a nice way to be able to build your page up and be able to build the number of followers on your page. Now, you could argue, you only really want to have the relevant people liking your page, which I completely agree. You do want to only have relevant people. However, if that person has reached out and they've commented on your post, even if they're not a potential customer, we don't know who that person could be connected to. So what I would say is it's worth inviting everybody to like your page, irregardless on whether irregardless of whether they're a potential customer or client or not. And also, you don't know if things may change in the future. They may become somebody that could become a customer as well. And then sharing into relevant groups. So actually taking that post and clicking the share button at the bottom and actually sharing that post into relevant groups. Again, absolutely key for building engagement. We have the Kernow Club group. I will share a link to the actual group itself when I share this video in the future. But again, I think actually those of you that are watching this already, I believe that you're already members of that group, which is fantastic. But again, sharing into that group, sharing into any other groups that may be relevant to where your audience would be hanging out as well. Highly, highly recommended. So as a summary, content ideas. We've covered content ideas. Again, having that idea and using those different ideas and posting and scheduling that stuff out across the course of a month. I mean, I speak to some clients. Some clients will do all of their social media management, so all of their content creation, they'll do on a Sunday evening. I have some people that will do it kind of as and when during the week. For myself, I prefer coming up with those content ideas, and my team prefer coming up with those content ideas at least a month in advance. So we know what's going to be going out for December. For example, we're doing a 12 days of Christmas for December. I'm probably going to get in trouble with the team for sharing that. But again, it's something that the team have come up with because they know it's going to create a lot of feedback, a lot of engagement, and engagement turns into conversations. And conversations ultimately turns into customers as well. So we've got 12 days of Christmas that we're doing next month. But again, there'll be nothing wrong at this stage as well at looking what to do for January, which we're doing for a lot of our customers and a lot of our clients at the moment as well. So coming up with those content ideas in advance is highly beneficial. Cheers. Excuse me. Designing those graphics as well. Designing the graphics, you can put as much time into it as you like. If you are very creative, if you know how to use Canva, if you know how to use like PicMonkey or something like that, or you know how to use Adobe InDesign, you'll probably be able to design these graphics kind of en masse. If you don't, and if you can, alternatives would be speaking to a photographer. You've got like Lizzie Melvin Photography. Lizzie's a very, very good photographer. And it could be that you just get Lizzie to perhaps come in and take some bespoke photographs that you can use for future posts. Again, dependent on the industry that you're in. For example, we're obviously a digital marketing agency. Really, we don't really have any action shots, if you will. The only action shots we have are the girls and the team working on the computers. And if we go visit a client, that's really the only time that we have kind of action shots. But if you're, so for example, I know we have Rita, who's with us here today. Rita owns Art and Wine. She puts on bespoke evenings, and I know she's got some really, really good videos of people really enjoying themselves there as well. But taking those photos and having those action shots, there'd be absolutely nothing wrong with having one of those action shots and putting it down and perhaps putting a logo in there. Again, if you don't have that experience in graphic design, of course, the more time and the more experience you have with creating graphics, the better they're going to be, of course. But simplicity, and if time is obviously a factor as well, decent photographs will go a long way. Creating those captions, so actually creating those captions using either ChatGPT or just using using your brain, your mind, to be able to come up with engaging captions where you're asking questions, you're getting people to leave good feedback, and building upon those captions. Again, really it comes with time. It really, really does. And again, it's what you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be forcing yourself to write captions. Again, it needs to come from a creative place. It can't just be, I need to get this done. It really should come from a creative spot. And again, using something like ChatGPT or using a copywriter is highly beneficial. Highly, highly beneficial. Just to give you those ideas sometimes as well. And then scheduling content. Again, this is the nuts and bolts, if you will. This just, actually scheduling it so, you're scheduled to go out on Monday at 6 p.m. What you really want to be doing here, something I didn't touch upon before, is actually you want to be measuring the results of when you're posting stuff out. So if you're scheduling that content to go out on a Monday evening, let's say you're posting Monday evening, 6 p.m., and you post every Monday, and it gets nothing. It gets very, very little engagement, very, very little impressions, which of course is different to engagement. Impressions, people see it. Engagement, the people that react to it, whether that's hovering over the post, of course, clicking like, comment, whatever. So if you're posting out a lot and you're not getting very many impressions at 6 p.m. on a Monday, it probably means that your audience are not online at 6 p.m. on a Monday. So you really want to be mixing it up. You want to try and find that sweet spot of when your audience are there, when they're watching, when they're looking at the stuff that you're putting out. So that's scheduling content. And then improving engagement. Really, this needs to be something that you're doing on a reaction type basis. So, if you see someone has commented 15 minutes ago, you really want to get out there and you really want to be jumping on that and replying to them, liking the comment, trying to build that conversation, building upon that engagement as well. So that is that. Again, obviously, we have the Kernow Club. This is £50 plus VAT per month, and it will give you access to these training sessions every single week. It will also give you access to the software, which again will be able to run reports. You'll be able to also create your content on it as well. I've been told that the £50 plus VAT per month is probably a lot lower than what I should be charging for it. But what I really want to do is I want to build a community of people, like-minded people that want to learn about marketing. They want to improve their business. They want to get seen by more people. That's the reason why it is the price that it is. So I'm going to stop sharing this now. I'm sorry, I'm not going to stop sharing this. I'm going to turn off the recording now.